This week's episode is brought to you by our very proud sponsor, Slabbed Cards, who specialise in card grading with PSA and SGC. Slabbed Cards are authorised PSA dealers, and card grading starts from $54.95 and includes full insurance, secure storage. Slabbed Cards have 2 tons of back-grade safes, 24-hour surveillance, and are located in a guarded, monitored building. All cards are scanned on arrival and are available to you for viewing at any time, and Slab Cards provide automatic progress notifications. Your submissions also come with complete tracking and notifications from start to finish. Slab Cards also offer specialized shipping services, domestic shipping service with up to $10,000 insurance per parcel, domestic secure hand-to-hand shipping service delivery within 24 hours of pickup, and international shipping with up to $150,000 of insurance per parcel. Contact Slab Cards for a quote at slabd.com.au, that's slabd.com.au, and also find them at 60 Weymount Street in Adelaide. Thanks very much for supporting us, Slab Cards.
Welcome everyone to episode 31 of the You Can't Cop This NBA Trading Podcast. I am your host, Adam Amy, in the same room as my co-host.
Yeah.
Russell Gibson. Russell, how are you tonight?
I'm very well, mate. I'm very well.
Lots to talk about in the league this week. We've got some sweet one-of-one discussion points.
Two of one.
Two one-of-ones? Two of two. All right, I'm not even going to try and figure that one out. But 2 one-of-ones to talk about.
Yeah.
So one-of-one and then another one-of-one. So one of one. No, anyway. All right. Moving on. We've got some listener questions, and we've also got some releases to talk about. In addition, we've also had some finals action been happening. So, let's get stuck into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
One-of-ones. It's the story of the week. Look, we know about the big Lebron Triple Logo that was sent off.
Yeah.
That was sent off to PSA for authentication, and it's currently up for auction.
Yeah.
On Goldin.
Yeah.
What's the can we lowball this at this point, or have we missed the boat on trying to get a small offer in?
I don't think they're taking best offers at the moment.
No best offers. What are we currently sitting at?
So it's at 1.5 million US. It's still got 9 days left.
9 days left, and we're already at 1.5.
Yeah. So
and that's US dollars.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not even going to get a converter out for that because that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money.
It's a lot of Mexican pesos. But I wanted to go back to the PSA authentication.
Yeah.
Because they actually didn't grade it. They just had it authenticated. So
it's the card that everybody said it was. Backyard Breaks didn't send them a fake.
I think, well, more to the point, the reason why they authenticate it instead of getting it graded is because there's actually damage on one side of the card, and then another corner is like quite visibly damaged. So
okay,
instead of getting it graded and coming back, say like a 6 or a 7, which would catch everybody's eyes, they just decided just to get it authenticated. And I suppose there's a few things that go through my head when I think about that, is that the people at Panini have come up with a really good marketing idea with having the Triple Logoman. Mm-hmm. But I would say that the execution of the idea has probably been less than ideal.
Okay.
I think we've spoken about the quality control at Panini many times before.
It is one of those things that does come up quite a bit.
Yeah.
But like, I suppose from my side, I was just like, it's a one-of-one, right?
Yeah.
So regardless how it grades, pop count's going to be 1.
Yeah.
If the pop count's higher than 1, I have concerns.
Yeah.
But it's,
it's definitely not going to change the pop count, and I won't disagree with you on that. But I think I have heard some people say the grade doesn't matter, but I can't disagree with that strongly enough, because
I do think the condition of the card is a factor.
If someone goes PSA 10, it can go 4 times higher than a PSA 9, and I can't see why people who are bidding on this card won't be influenced by the condition that the card is in. Like, to me, I think you almost being a little bit, not you per se, you being a bit ignorant to sort of say, it's not going to affect the final price. So for me, that is something that I've been thinking about. The other thing too is, like, why didn't they fix it? Why didn't they just get it right? Because it's a one-of-one. Again, it's a fantastic marketing idea. Like, the person who came up with this idea does deserve a pay rise. Like, it's a great idea, But again,
Yeah.
the execution was really poor. So if they knew the card was damaged, why didn't they fix it? Why didn't they sort of take the time to do it properly? I don't know the answer to that, but I would love to know like what goes into it that they can't get it right.
Yeah. Look, it's a difficult one, and look, I agree the grading to an extent is going to impact the price. I'm not to an extent. It will impact the price.
Yeah.
But with this specific card, what's the comp on it? You know what I mean? Like this is literally the one of ones.
Yeah.
And that's using one of one too many times. But
Yeah.
it's like literally there's nothing on this planet to compare this card to.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably where they've gone for the authentication, because I think having a grade on it is going to take away from the actual what the card is. In this instance, I'm going to like make sure that that's my point. In this is the exception to the rule.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, it's a one of one, so
it's not like you're looking at just a one of one LeBron. Like, you know what I mean? If there are multiple one of one LeBrons out there,
yeah.
but this is a LeBron Triple Logoman. Like, this is like it's hard to fathom.
Yeah.
Any card, and imagine there was a triple or a double Logoman Jordan, a Wizards and Bulls, or one from each three-peat. Like, where would you get your logos from? They'd all be Bulls Jordan, but it'd be like 96, 97, 90, I don't know.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, like jerseys from those eras.
Yeah. From
the first three-peat, the second three-peat. All right, take notes, fanatics. Yeah. I'm on the job, right? That's it. But look, yeah, you're right.
What do you think it's going to go for?
I still reckon the 3 million's not out of the realm of possibility. We're halfway there.
And it's already at 1.5. I think it's easily going to get to 3.
And look, if it doesn't get to 3 million US, we just use Australian dollars and convert it, and we'll get close to 3 million that way. But this isn't the only one of one.
Yeah.
Up for discussion this week.
Let's go close to home.
Close to home.
Yeah.
This is so close. It's not funny. So Dungeon Master Breaks, who they're affiliated with our newest sponsor, EJ Cards.
Yeah. So huge shout out to them.
Massive shout out, and a good friend of mine, Chris Rimpus, pulled a Kobe one of one. This is a Rubies, Diamonds, and Sapphires one of one.
Yeah.
Very interesting looking card, because I guess it's not your traditional Kobe looking card.
No.
It's Kobe on the back.
Yeah.
That's the only real instance.
It's like a Logoman on the front, really.
Yeah, it's just like looking at a speckled Logoman. And we'll call it speckled with jewelry, but it's pulled locally, like within like a 15-minute drive from my place, that's for sure. And it was pretty special. What a card to pull. Like,
it's unbelievable.
What would you do if you were the lucky recipient of one of one like this?
I think, honestly, I'm not a big Kobe fan.
So you just give it to me?
I might let you hold it for like a minute or something. I'd probably sell it, to be honest.
It wouldn't take me a minute. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's I wouldn't even know how to calculate the value of a card. Like, it's
I think that would be actually really interesting. Just watch what it does go for. So my understanding is the owner is going to vault it though.
Oh really?
Yeah. He's got no intention of selling it.
Yeah. And look, it doesn't surprise me. But look, in years to come, it may come out of a vault, and interesting for sure.
So I've been thinking about these cards a little bit lately. I do wonder about the value that's actually of the diamonds that gets put into the cards. And because, we always talk about like different plays in sports cards. Mm-hmm. So some of these diamond cards, particularly for like veteran cards and like lower end diamond cards, you can get them pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Like sometimes less than $100.
Yeah.
So is there a play where you buy these cards off eBay quite cheap and then take the diamonds and actually like get them out and sell the diamonds? Do you know of anyone that's done this?
I don't. I'm so curious now.
Because like
I don't know.
There's
Do
a
we
million-
need to reach out to some jewelers to like find out
I
how
want
much
to
they
take
would
a
pay
card
for?
in to get it assessed.
All right.
That I'm actually going to do that, and I know there's like a million different grades of diamonds, so probably they put like
for sure.
ones that aren't that great into it. But I'm still curious to sort of know like what the deal would be.
And because the card actually says that Panini verifies that it's a genuine diamond, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't say much more than that.
Okay. No, it's interesting. I like it. I like the angle. I just imagine going to a jeweler with a basketball card.
Why not? I'm sure
That
they'd
could
take
be-
a look at it.
It could be a live video on our Facebook group. We're walking into.
That'd be fun. Why not?
Go to Tiffany's.
So if anyone is listening out there that is a jeweler and has some experience with this, let us know, because I think it's a really fun exercise.
Yeah, look, it's interesting. It's certainly, well, you're putting something of value into something else of value.
Yeah.
So
But what if
stripping
that
it down
actual
to
thing is not much value and the actual diamonds is worth more than the card? That's what I'm sort
that's
of like
and
getting
that's
at, you know?
and that's where could you imagine that, like someone's just like going, oh, this isn't a good player, I'm selling it, get rid of it nice and cheap, and then you go and make more money on the card selling it off for parts.
Why not?
Effectively.
Why not?
That's just cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Alrighty.
All right.
Listen to question.
Yes, you've been busy on the socials this week, putting up some requests for listener questions.
Twitter went well this week, actually. We had a really good response.
Twitter's been going off. It's been great. It's good to see all the interactions.
Yes, it's really good.
And no, it's been very interesting. Some discussions have popped up. That's for sure.
So Ross Burman sent us in a question. Why does my wife get so angry on mail days? I might let you start off by trying to answer this one.
We can only assume that there may be some displeasure with the volume of cards being purchased.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not. What would we say? This is a tread lightly moment. It depends. Does your wife listen to the podcast? Is our counter question. Look, I would, if it were happening to me and my partner was getting angry, I would think it would be because she'd be unhappy with the volume of cards I was buying.
Sure.
Or the frequency of the mail days.
Yeah.
For that matter. Maybe worth exploring, maybe a PO box.
Yeah.
So that not all of the mail days are disclosed.
So that's the second part to his question is how can this be resolved? So I feel like you've already moved into part 2 of his question. So
the question is, does it resolve it, or are you actually masking a problem, or creating a new problem?
Yeah,
it's a tricky one. I guess partners don't, whereas they may be supportive, don't always understand how the hobby works. Cards, not every card is worth $1,000. Not every card is currently up on Goldin auctions for 1.5 million US.
Yeah.
And sometimes we buy a bulk lot of cards for next to nothing.
Yeah.
Or people just send us cards. Not understanding the hobby can definitely be a way that things get misunderstood, misinterpreted. To me, it would be have a discussion with the wife first, if you guys are on good talking terms with regards to basketball cards.
At least talking terms, yeah.
If the talking terms, if the discussion goes along the lines of, you have a problem, I don't want you buying any more basketball cards, that could be a problem unto itself.
Yeah.
But if it's just a concern over volume or amount of money spent, have the discussion. Would be my honest advice, straight up. Just discuss what the concern is. It's like, does this annoy you that I'm getting lots of mail? Are you concerned that I'm spending too much money?
Yeah.
If it's I'm sick of the post box, the mailbox out the front being stuffed with cards.
Yeah.
And I don't care how much you spend on them. I want to be able to get the phone bill or the electricity bill out of the mailbox.
Yeah.
Or when my friends send me a birthday card, I don't want it stacked under a bunch of basketball cards and lost.
Which is fair.
Then get a PO box. I think step one is figure out where where the anger comes from by having the discussion. If you know where the anger comes from and you're just looking ways to hide it, or stop the mail coming in and stop the anger, I would say get a PO box.
Yeah. So I think from my perspective, it's hard to know because really this is like the ultimate can of worms. But I can tell you categorically why my wife gets mad at me. Mostly it's because I don't listen. So she's already told me something 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 times, and I've either been on my phone looking at cards, not listening to her, or I've been half asleep in bed when she's trying to talk to me, or who knows? What am I doing? I don't know. So I'd probably say, are you listening to your wife? That's probably like the first thing to establish. The other thing that you spoke about too is like the volume of mail that you're getting, and I probably think there is a little bit of education in that space too, because you can buy one card which is worth $1,000, or you can buy 100 cards which are worth 50 cents each.
Correct.
And it does look way worse when you've got 100 cards coming in a week, even though they only cost you $50.
Correct.
So the other thing too is about transparency. So, and I'm pretty big on this. I spreadsheet everything that I purchase, and I spreadsheet everything that I sell, and it goes in and out like a balance account.
Yeah.
So not that my wife is checking up on me, and to be honest, it's more about how I account for my own spending, because otherwise I'd be just
easy.
off tab.
It is easy to get out of control.
But if she did want to look at my spending, like it's in the spreadsheet, and like there it is. And yes, it's a pain, and sometimes I get behind on my spreadsheeting, but at the same time, that helps me out a lot. In terms of resolution, you've already spoke about it, communication. But all jokes aside about the PO box, I use a PO box. There's 3 major reasons for me, because it improves my privacy, which I value. And then the other thing too is that I actually think it's safer to have your cards sent to a PO box than sent to your home address, because it happens very, very infrequently, but you do hear of people having their mail stolen out of their box, whereas a PO box, the mail is not released until you either take it out with the key, or if they put a card into your box, you actually need to go and get it.
Well, and then you've also got things like inclement weather. There's been Melbourne's renowned for storms where we are. And if
my
you've got
letterbox is not waterproof, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And also the way they jam it into the letterbox too, like it can get damaged that way. So I think honestly, PO box is, look, it's not the cheapest thing in the world. I think maybe it's $100 or $140 a year.
Yeah, $100, but it's peace of mind, as Russell's just said. It's very much, especially. I mean, we've made a couple of assumptions. I've assumed that you're getting a lot of volume in. PO box is a great place for that.
I'm just assuming you're not listening to your wife. I personally, that's what I'm putting this down to. I'm not going to mince words here.
Yeah. Now, I think, I know we've opened these can of worms, but I think part 3 of this question.
This is the ultimate.
This is the hardest part.
Yeah.
When will Portland win their next championship?
I don't know, man. I don't want to be the bringer of bad news, but it's going to be a very long time. I think.
We do the Magic 8 Ball and it says outlook does not look good.
No, not at all. I think losing CJ McCollum for what you lost him for wasn't probably a great.
Yeah.
And I also think too, they've spent so much draft equity on trying to acquire short-term assets that probably
to put around McCollum and Lillard
panned out that well.
Yeah.
And then the problem with Lillard is that if you don't trade him imminently, I would say his trade value is actually going to be decreasing, not increasing. And then are you actually winning with this guy? No. Well, you're in the middle, but you're not going to win a chip. So
yeah, we've seen what it takes to really sort of be in that race to be in for the championship.
We need to channel our inner Kevin O'Connor and blow it up. Blow it up, baby.
That's it. Like I think Portland don't have a solid outlook. They're not the worst team out there, but they're definitely not headed in the right direction. I think
they're a very good 40-win team. Like that's what they are.
Yep. Yeah, well, and they've proven that they're not even that at the moment.
So when? So the question actually is when. So he's asking for a prediction. I would say at least 15 years away.
Yeah.
That's how far away you are.
Look, a lot can happen in a decade.
So 2037 is my prediction.
2037.
Yeah.
That is...
that's brutal, but...
That is very brutal.
Yeah.
But look, we've got to keep it real.
Yeah.
Look, I was just going to give it a nice even... I was going to give it a nice even decade, but we'll give it a baker's dozen. We're going to say...
Okay, 12 years.
We're gonna say 2034.
Okay.
2034.
All right.
Maybe. I think it'd be easy to predict when they're going to get to the finals rather than actually win the chip. Because, but yes, I think 12 years they can make the finals. Whether or not they take that extra step is up to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you for the
Yeah.
lovely.
That was some fun questions, man.
That was a loaded powder keg with a box of matches.
Yeah,
with
but very fun.
That was great.
Alrighty. Our next segment is all about Noir. So Noir's dropped, and it's beautiful.
And was there ever any doubt? Noir's always beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a great set.
They've done a really good job on it. And again, I think the checklist this year is a lot deeper. And when I say deeper, there's a lot more cards in it this year. So we speak about print run. We speak about, how are they making cards more accessible for people. And if you look at the checklist this year, it just seems to have a lot more in it.
Yeah.
So, in terms from looking at that from a breaker's perspective, I think that's quite nice because there's more chances across different teams actually to hit a card.
Yeah, agreed.
But I would say for me, the two standout sets are the sneaker spotlights, that's hardly controversial to say that, but
yeah,
they've also introduced this year a 75-year checklist, and that is just absolutely spectacular. So it's only 10 cards in the checklist.
Yeah.
It's got the beautiful 75-year logo in it. It's got a really nice sort of up-close picture of the athlete, and then sort of in the background, sort of like a faded black picture, and then an on-card auto on it. So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Magic, Bill Russell, Shaquille O'Neal, Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Garnett, Larry Bird, and Oscar Robertson. So a very choice.
That is a loaded checklist.
Yeah. And I think, to be fair, there's a couple of reasons why, these players are in the list and other players aren't in there. So, for example, Jordan's not going to sign it, so they can't put him into it.
Well, I was going to say, and then there are other players that aren't in there because they're no longer with us.
Yeah, that's part of it too, right?
Yeah.
So, who would you hypothetically include into that list if you could?
If I could?
Yeah. Taking away that they don't sign for Panini, or even taking away if they've passed away. Like,
yeah, well, obviously, I would have Kobe in there, or I would have MJ.
Yeah.
And then LeBron.
Yeah.
Those GOAT players in there.
And we've actually teased doing this as a segment in the future. Like, who would our top 10 collectible people be? So I think this has brought this to the forefront of my mind. We're doing that next week. That's it.
Yeah, the most collectible players.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Yep.
This has inspired me because just looking through this list now, I think this is a really good list. Don't get me, I'm not criticizing it. I understand why this list is what it is, but at the same time, I would still like to do that exercise. I think that would be lit, honestly.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I suppose to make it, because I don't like the number 13, would make it an even 14, and I would put Stephen Curry.
Oh, we're going more than 10, are we?
Well, I was going to say, if I could include players that aren't on this 10 list.
Yeah, okay.
From the 75. I'm just going to mention Curry every week until he wins his finals MVP next week or the week after.
Look, I think the conversation can be had about Curry for sure. What he's doing at the moment is
Kevin
nuts.
Garnett's the one that stands out to me in this list.
I think that's a little bit of a reach, but at the same time,
yeah.
I don't have a big deal. I don't have an issue with it.
It's an interesting list. That's for sure. That's for sure.
So the next thing I want to talk to you about was the sneaker spotlight list. Mm-hmm. So I actually went through the entire list and then sorted them out into teams. I wanted to see what team was getting what, right? Yeah. So there's a few interesting points. So there's 40 cards in the checklist. So there's 30 NBA teams. You would make the assumption that each team would get a card.
Yes and no.
So the teams that don't get cards are the Brooklyn Nets, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Miami Heat, the Orlando Magic, the Portland Trail Blazers, and the Utah Jazz.
Wow.
So just taking it off the top of your head, what player would you, if you were building this checklist, what player would you put into the Brooklyn Nets?
KD.
Yeah, I'll go with KD. I think also too...
And just do Kyrie to stir up everybody.
No, I think if you had Kyrie in there, I would be fine with that too. I would say KD or Kyrie. That's fine. All right, Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cleveland's a tricky one. Sexton?
Yeah, I would either go for Garland, just for the fact of like...
There you go. Yeah, Garland's a good one.
How hot he's been and how well he played last year. And if you did want to go for that...
Markkanen, there we go.
Well, they had a really good rookie last year.
Yep.
Why can't Mobley be on the checklist?
Mobley, there you go. Yeah, dope.
Miami Heat.
Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be just Jimmy Butler, wouldn't it?
Jimmy Butler, you could. I think you could go Dwayne Wade.
D-Wade, yeah. Fair. Doesn't have to be present day.
And I don't want to give this next bit away too much, but Shaquille O'Neal's in the checklist. You could move him from the team he's been allocated to put him into Miami Heat. And I think that is...
Well, you can move him into two different teams, actually, because you did mention Orlando's also not talking about.
Yeah. Actually, that's very true. So in that case, why don't we move Shaq to Orlando, and then we go like Dwayne Wade or Jimmy Butler in Miami?
Yeah, I like that.
So you've just answered Magic, and the next one's Portland Trailblazers.
Let's go Lillard, wouldn't you? Oh, wait, you could... Yeah,
Lillard.
Clyde Drexler?
Yeah, that was the other one I was thinking too, Drexler. Like, focus on those like old school, 80s and 90s shoes.
Yeah, that's like if you don't... Cool. Yeah, you just something cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if Clyde had anything in the same vein as a sneaker, like a signature sneaker that he liked, but...
You could find something cool, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Utah Jazz.
Utah's... Oh, you'd go Mitchell.
Yeah, why not?
Might not be there for long.
So, the one that I was thinking about for that would be Karl Malone, but then he's in the 75-year checklist.
That was the factor. I was going to say Stockton.
Yeah.
Because Stockton doesn't get a lot of love.
When I was watching case breaks of this, you get 1 or 2 sneaker spotlights per case.
Yeah.
And you get 1 75-year checklist. So you could make the argument that, yes, the Jazz don't have a card in sneaker spotlight, but they do have this bonus card in the 75-year checklist. So, if someone said, okay, they don't have one for the Jazz, I'm okay with that. But so in that case, I would probably go John Stockton. And then, you've got Karl Malone in the 75 checklist. Right. So then the next thing I want to point out to you is this. Teams with multiple cards.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, if you're going to have cards that teams that miss out, you're going to have
if there's 40
if it's
cards,
loaded,
and some teams don't have cards, it has to be teams that have got double. So, Hawks got 2, Trae Young and Cam Reddish. Why is Cam Reddish on this? I think he could be left off.
Fair.
Bulls have got Rodman and Jalen Rose.
I don't mind that. I actually don't mind it.
I don't mind Rodman. Jalen Rose, I can take it or leave it.
Jalen's an interesting one.
He's a good dude, but,
I think he's an interesting one because he's got a media presence and a collectability about him. Like a novelty collectability.
Yeah. Mavericks have got Luka and Durka.
I have no problem with that.
Nuggets have got Joker, Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray.
What is Porter Jr.? I guess it was printed before he cooked his back.
Yeah. See, what makes me think about that is to check the PYT prices on the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Because if you're picking up them for pretty cheap,
then it's worth
that's actually worth a dip into it because you've got 3 shots at a sneaker spotlight.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a very, very good point.
Pistons have got Ben Wallace and Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Warriors have got Steph Curry and Wiseman.
Wiseman's a question.
I could take him off easily.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd almost you don't want to ride the train, but Jordan Poole's probably the better if you're going to put a younger player in. But why wouldn't you go Curry and Thompson? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the easy choice.
Or the Splash
right?
Brothers, yeah.
Now, I think the more controversial one would be Steph Curry and Wiggins because, in my opinion, the second best player for the Warriors right
is
now
currently Andrew Wiggins. Yep.
Seriously, the way that kid's been playing is like you have to give him props.
He's definitely my X factor for the Warriors, and he's done a job. Yeah.
All right, this is the one that I'm most smoked about. Los Angeles Lakers, Anthony Davis, Taylor Horton-Tucker.
All right, I'll stop you there. Can you take him off?
Gary Payton and Shaquille O'Neal. They hit 4.
All right. So Payton played 1 season, didn't he, for the Lakers?
I'm actually outraged. Why
take Gary Payton off the Lakers and put Gary Payton in the Warriors? Sorry, that was... But why is THT there? Like, what? Anthony Davis makes sense. Put Westbrook in there.
No.
I'm never going to say anything positive about Westbrook.
The Knicks have got 2, Obi Toppin and Julius Randle.
Love Randle. I would like a sneaker spotlight Randle.
I like Obi, actually. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah,
I think
that's fine.
the way I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he fits the league, and he played really well down the stretch.
No issue. And look, we all know New York need to chop out every now and then, so let's not criticise them.
The Thunder don't have our Aussie in there, which I was surprised about.
No Giddy.
I thought Giddy would be there.
Okay.
Ray Allen is in the Thunder, but in a Supersonics uniform, so that'll make some like old school guys happy.
Yeah, and there was no one for Miami.
No one. For
Ray
Miami.
Allen could have gone in Miami as well. He did have an impact there.
Yeah.
But you're right, because all the Thunder always gets the Supersonics bits where they can't fill gaps.
And that's it. That's it for the rest of the list. No more doubles up. So Allen Iverson for Philly, Jason Richardson for the Suns, Halliburton for the Kings, and that's actually
Richardson for the Suns.
Yeah. He did have some pretty cool shoes. I'm actually, and he was like a high flying dunking guy. I'm not sad about that. It's not the worst.
Booker's got to be wearing some decent kicks, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Tony Parker for the Spurs.
Like it.
Vince Carter for the Raptors, which is redemption.
Okay.
I haven't actually seen that card. I've only seen the redemptions. And then Rui Hachimura for the Wizards. So
interesting list.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, get in if you can get the Nuggets.
Seems all right. Yeah.
Seems like value.
I mean, Lakers,
because you're always going to be paying through the nose for the Lakers.
Like absolutely through the nose. And now that I've actually read that checklist, that makes also more sense why the Lakers are so high. 4 chances at a sneaker spotlight is just, wild. What's your thoughts about Noir so far this year?
I've always thought it was a great set. I always thought it was quality. I saw the picture of the 75.
Yeah.
And a lot of the 75 stuff really impressed me so far.
Yeah.
So I do like that checklist. Something we discussed off air. They're all numbered to 75.
Yeah.
So this is a set that someone's going to chase.
Yeah.
There's only 10. Do you chase this set? Do you like you as a collector? You like the look of them. I mean, some of them are going to be, you'd say, easier to get than others.
So if I had the means in this hypothetical world, 100% that is a set you'll be chasing. But so I'm looking at the Bill Russell one at the moment. It's still got about a day left to go on eBay. It's already at $980. So that probably means in my head it's going to go for around 1,003, 1,004 would what I would sort of guess it's going to go for. If you multiply that out into Australian dollars over 10 cards, like we're talking
thousands.
What, 15,000, 16,000 K?
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there are players that. Yeah, you're right.
Probably
pick up the KG cheap.
Even KG stuff is pretty collectible.
Yeah, I know. I'm just look. There's a few cards there that might go on the lower side of that.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think this is an over $10,000 chase.
I think even 15, man.
Yeah,
honestly, I think it's going to be wild. But look, some dudes are going to do it, and
someone's going to have a crack at it.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. That's
they're absolutely beautiful cards.
Noir is a good set. It never fails to disappoint.
Yeah.
I do. The only thing that sort of keeps me out of it is the price point. Hence the interest in breaks.
The price point is significant. You can't not discuss that. The other thing to discuss about Noir probably too is the finish of the cards, and I don't think it's even a quality control thing, to be honest. I think it's the way the cards are made.
Mm-hmm.
They will very frequently have whitening on the edges and on the corners.
Well, I think that was picked up.
Al did mention this
by our resident.
Yeah, so we put a post up about the Magic 75 card, and that was literally the first thing that Al pointed out. I would actually say the irony is though that those cards actually have almost an acetate finish to them.
Yeah. And
those cards and the sneakers, actually the edges on them are really nice.
Yeah.
The cards that actually are a lot more damaged is the base cards.
All your base cards, and even the some
autos,
of your other...
Yeah. So...
It's interesting. Well, you find that it's a lot easier to see the damage because there's a lot of black.
It's so obvious.
Base card, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like the actual... The background is fully black and it brings it out.
Yeah.
More, I mean, look, more defined.
It doesn't stop me from picking up Noir cards because you sort of know what you're getting yourself into. In saying that, I would like them to see them fix it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt at all. It's
Final thoughts on Noir?
If you can get in a break at a good price, jump on it.
Yep.
Will you be breaking any Noir?
I will be. Not a large amount though.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I get tagged. It's all right. Shotgun nuggets. Yeah, that was Noir. Any other releases recent? Nothing.
The main one I've been looking at this week has just been Noir because it's just so big. And
well, it's getting to that time of the year where all the main sets are coming out because the season's over.
Yeah. It's the timing is not.
It's like,
great.
what? The NBA season's over. Guess we better release everything.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's my weekly dig at release schedules.
I think we should plug EJ Cards again.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, obviously they've had a bit of the press from this one of one, but I mean, yeah, our newest sponsor, EJ Cards.
Yep.
Tell us a bit about their store. What can we expect if we jump to the EJ Cards website?
Their store in Blackburn is actually open 7 days a week. So Monday 11 till 5, Friday a little bit later hours 11 till 6, Saturday 10 till 5, Sunday 11 till 4. So that's very friendly for the collector. Probably the big thing for me is that they do have a lot of product on their website.
Yep.
The product that I was looking at this week, which is in their special segment, is the Fanatics box. So it's the complete optic set, and it also comes with the bonus packet.
Yep.
So we actually did break some of this on our page a few weeks back.
Yeah.
And breaking a full set isn't particularly exciting because you know exactly what's going to come out of it.
True.
On the flip side of that, to get the bonus packs, I think that's a really nice little thing.
Yeah.
They are the green...
Is it Pulsar?
Yeah, thank you. The green Pulsar.
They're the rated rookies.
Well, you can get any. So what they've done is they've sort of released it as an extra set.
Oh, okay.
So, but they're really, really nice cards. The resale of them is not great though, because I've actually, since that break, I was looking at them myself and picking some up.
Yep.
But in terms of getting cards that I think look really good and...
Well, I was going to say Donruss Optic is a good looking set to start with anyway. And then, of course,
So, a couple of weeks back, I'm not sure if I was talking about this on the show, but I was maybe talking about it in a group chat saying that these were the type of boxes I'd be picking up to put away. And actually at the moment, so you can get them off EJ Cards on special, but you can actually buy them direct from Fanatics in America.
Yeah.
They've just dropped the price. So whether that means that they've overproduced them or just the interest isn't there, but I still think they're something that's collectible.
Yeah, well, it's a complete set.
Yeah, that and also the bonus packs, I think.
Yeah, I think the bonus packs is where it's at.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gives you... People collect things because they try to complete sets. So it starts off, you get it. You know, the extra cards are good.
Yeah.
And you get the bonus is you've got a complete set of cards.
Yeah.
Which means you've got the whole rookie class. One of each. There you go, done.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you like the rookie class, go and grab the complete set.
Actually, it's not bad value when you say it like that.
Yeah. It's but yeah, go and check out EJ Cards.
EJ Cards, yeah.
Look, I think it's something we need to potentially look at discussing with the guys at EJ's and organising maybe a trade day, because I think it's the time is rapidly approaching where we want a nice indoor setting to go and meet some fellow hobby enthusiasts.
100%.
And maybe even, if I can get the equipment set up, maybe do a show down there and go and do a trading day.
Yeah.
Let's exchange some cardboard and do some trades and have some fun. Maybe at EJ Cards down in Blackburn.
Yeah. All right. Game 4 NBA Finals. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts? Warriors still in 6. Now, hope seemed to be lost after Game 3, but Stephen Curry, for those that aren't aware, is very good at basketball.
He is very good at basketball.
And yeah, I believe Steve Kerr said when his coaching's all said and done, he's going to sit back and thank Steph.
I think he should.
And as he should.
Yeah.
It was the Steph Curry game. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was just one of those performances where it's at any means necessary. Just get the win.
Some of the shots he was making and drawing contact on, there was 2 that really could have been and ones.
Yep.
And I think one of them was 100% a foul, but it was Tatum. So I think
I've noticed a lot from this series that is very physical. Yeah. It is a very physical series, and that goes in waves when the refs call stuff and don't call stuff. They're letting it go a lot of the times early, and then when they start calling it, players get in foul trouble.
Yeah.
But look, they're firing back and forth, and Look, Steph Curry is definitely on his way to a Finals MVP if the Warriors do win the series.
Yes, this is not even a conversation.
If the Celtics win, I'm on Jaylen Brown. I think out of him and Tatum, Brown has been the one that has taken over games.
Yep.
And has embarrassed the Warriors at times.
Yeah.
Whereas Tatum's been locked down, and I think we need to really give credit once again to Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
Who's done a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Just guarding on the floor. He has been a defensive presence, and he has really contained Tatum. It's almost like when, multiple players have won MVPs being the guy that guarded LeBron. When the reality should be LeBron probably was the MVP of the series. Yep. Iguodala won one. Kawhi won one guarding LeBron. It's that spotlight, that focus, and I think Wiggins is out of the race because Curry is just by far.
Yeah, 10x.
Yeah. Yep.
But
whereas Jaylen Brown has sort of done the they've locked in on Tatum, and I think this has really opened up Jaylen Brown to showcase how good a player he really is.
Yeah.
And
look, I think the system in Boston is definitely made to suit Tatum's skills and Jaylen Brown's skills. So it makes sense that he's excelling because essentially the offense is built around him.
Yep.
The only thing I would probably maybe differ with you a little bit on is I actually think Tatum has been playing really, really good basketball. He's been playmaking at an incredibly high level. He's been rebounding. He's been defending. The thing that is in everyone's forefront of their minds is his shooting percentages. And I feel like because he's doing this one thing not well enough, I think he's taking too much criticism. So
yeah, I think I suppose it sounds overly critical. I think Jaylen Brown,
not just you though. I think the general media is giving Tatum too much criticism.
Yeah, I just don't think he's performing as well as Brown. I don't think he's performing poorly. I think he's not. He hasn't crumbled. He's not doing Chris Paul stuff.
But the Boston Celtics are a really good defensive team. They're not a very good offensive team. So the fact that they're you can't really say they're struggling to put up points. Like they scored 116 in one of the games, but at the same time, where they're having trouble is generating offense, and that is not surprising at all. So
what about all right? So there's one thing about this series that I've noticed so far.
Talk to me.
Are the Warriors now firmly in Boston's head about the third quarter? They have been outscored every third quarter of this series.
Really?
Yeah.
What about game 2?
That was the only quarter they lost. I'm pretty sure.
Because game 2 that was what lost it for the Warriors.
That was the route. Yeah. That was the route. I'm just gonna. Yeah. I mean, while I check this, have you got thoughts on?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll put some thoughts in while you're just checking that out. So my overall thought that I sort of am having a little bit of trouble getting over is that it's almost like the old dog versus the new dog or the young dog, because Draymond has clearly lost 2 steps of athleticism, and somehow he's lost, despite his unlimited bravado, he's also lost confidence in his shot, which seems like a weird dichotomy, doesn't it?
No, I take your meaning.
And then Jaylen Brown is actually giving Klay Thompson a lot of trouble in terms of length and athleticism. So that for me is really interesting, because as much as Klay hustles and he's trying and he's applying himself, you can actually just see, like, physically he can't get to his spots he wants to get to sometimes. He can't get a shot off cleanly, and his shot has actually been blocked a fair few times. So that's probably what's in my mind.
Yeah.
And then when you sort of see the deterioration of Klay and then Draymond's athleticism, and then you see what Steph Curry's doing, and that just kind of blows your mind even more, like just how amazing like that guy is. So, and that takes me to Wiggins, because essentially that's where their athleticism comes from now, is essentially one person.
Yeah.
I think Wiggins is actually carrying a huge load. In terms of who I think is the second most important player to the Warriors, to me it's not even a dispute. I think Wiggins is just incredible in this space, and the way he's defending, he's rebounding, he's shooting pretty well, and I'm surprised he's not slashing to the basket a fraction more, but maybe he's found his niche on offense and he's happy with it. I was really interested to see what was happening with Wiggins' prices because I thought he played so well, there would have had to be some movement. But
Nothing?
in the last 3 months, he's up 5%, which is $14 up. It last sold for $290.
It's not. It just doesn't... Is it just a...
I mean, look, maybe that's just Andrew Wiggins and, that's how he is. But for me, I'm really surprised about that. Jordan Poole's worth talking about too because he hasn't had that many minutes. I've actually been surprised he hasn't played more, but I think
he's Steph's replacement. He comes in for Steph a lot.
Well, so when they benched Draymond in the second half, Poole was out on the floor for essentially all of those minutes.
Okay.
And that Clay, Poole, Steph Curry, Wiggins lineup, that had a lot of speed. I really liked that lineup, and Poole was, to me, just seemed electric. He just had so much speed, and he was...
Well, Poole base, they're sort of stabled, we'll say. We're not gonna get carried away.
So I think the one that I looked at straight away was the silver PSA 10, because we talked about this, he went to the moon, it was up to 1,000.
Yeah.
So that's last sold for $455, so he's down,
all right,
a lot.
So...
The irony is, though, if you look at the 3-month schedule, it's still telling you it's up 71%.
That's true.
But if you bought at the peak, you've then lost 50%.
You've lost a heap.
Yeah.
You've actually lost a heap. When it's almost hit 1,000. What was the highest? 989.
Yeah.
So you look at the base, and this is where I think there might be another spike for this card, because the base is last sold for 170. PSA 10 base. Now, the advice that we've both been going on, don't buy it back. But the base gives me an idea of what the silver should be worth.
Okay.
And I think if people are buying base cards of Jordan Poole at $175, then I think that the silver going for $450 looks like good value. Either that or you got a tremendously ripped off buying a base card for $170. Where does Jordan Poole finish here?
Yeah, I think that's the real question for me. It's even at $475, is Jordan Poole still buyer beware? Because
at $989, he was definitely, this is not going to last.
Well, at $989, we said sell.
I think a few people listened because looking at this chart.
Yeah, I don't think we minced words on that, and I don't think that's been controversial
But
either.
I think we actually said around the 500 mark isn't unreasonable for the silvers.
I think what's really changed in my mind in the last couple of weeks, particularly with the finals, is can this guy be a number one option on a good team?
Yeah.
And the way he played in game 2, I actually think he lost them the game. So that makes me think...
Is it game 2? No, game 1 is the one they lost. Game 1's the one where the Warriors... and by the way, the Warriors have outscored in every third quarter.
Yeah, see...
It's the fourth quarter they got blown out in game 1.
I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't do any preparation on this, so...
No, that's all right. No.
I'm wrong.
It's a hoodoo thing, but at game 1, they got beaten by 24 points in the fourth quarter and run over at home.
That must have been game 3 then. I think that's where I'm getting confused. But there was a game when they had Steph on the bench.
That's the... Yeah, no, that was game 1. That was definitely game 1.
Was that game 1?
I think it was game 1,
okay.
yeah.
And then Poole was out there.
They were hitting shots. They won the third quarter by 12 points or something, and they were all up and celebrating.
I just think...
And then they scored 40, and then Boston scored 40 points in the last quarter.
That was just so damaging, the way that he played.
And routed them. Did he learn from it, though?
Well, look, he played really well yesterday, actually.
He played well.
His shot selection was much better. And
I just hope he can learn from it, and we'll see. We'll see what his maturity's like.
Look, I just wonder if he's going to be say, a good number 2, but maybe a good number 2 is his ceiling. He might not even get to that.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
He's in a very supportive environment. He's in an environment where Andrew Wiggins can succeed. And I'm saying that in the kindest possible way, right?
Yeah, no, I hear you though.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Sense. Yeah, it's interesting.
So you were doing some fact checking before. What did you find out?
The Warriors do have the wood over...
Sorry. Yeah, you did say that.
Over Boston.
Yeah.
The last couple of games has been closer, but Golden State has won by 6 and 8 points in games 2 and 3.
Yeah.
That's on the road.
Yeah.
So in the Garden, they're winning the third quarter. It doesn't matter what the game has been. Now it's 2-2.
Yeah.
The Warriors blew them out in the third quarter in games 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And beat them by 6 and 8 in games 3 and 4.
Interesting.
Now, if I'm going into game 5 in Golden State, knowing that the Warriors are a third quarter team and that they are unable to even beat them on their home floor in the third quarter, are these guys terrified when they walk out of the locker room at halftime? Because that, literally, it's like the third quarter is this our season gone?
I don't think the Celtics are terrified, but I would probably say that...
They're in their heads. I feel like the Warriors are now in their heads. That's my read on it.
Or is it simply that...
The Warriors are just good in the third?
So, actually, I watched Game 4 on replay.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew all the narrative of what happened. There was a huge deal made about Draymond being sat down for like a prolonged period of time.
Yeah.
So when they called that timeout, when I was watching the replay and you could see the look on Steve Kerr's face, he looked like he was about to either go to the toilet and do something enormous, or he was making a very, very tough decision. And what we now know, the decision he was making was he was taking Draymond out of the game. So actually, I think the two things that the Warriors coaching staff are very good at, they're very good at creating game plans. They're very good at strategizing, and also they're very good at making tough decisions in terms of rotations.
Yeah.
So maybe actually what they're doing is they're just making good adjustments at halftime.
True.
And they're out strategizing Udoka. Like, is that...
They're a good team, though. The Boston Celtics are no slouches as far as making adjustments goes.
Yeah, but comparing, like, the Boston Celtics coaching staff to the Golden State Warriors coaching staff, like, they're... I think Udoka is a fantastic coach, and I think it's so good to see his career pathway and that job he got.
Yeah.
So I'm not criticizing this guy. I'm just saying you can't compare him to Steve Kerr and like the army of first-rate assistant coaches that Kerr has.
Yeah, Kerr. The Warriors they're approaching dynasty level
assistant coaches.
Well, dynasty level coherentness. Like they're so together. They've been together for the better part of a decade.
Yeah.
And this is the... I mean, even then the owner of the Warriors came out and said, of course we're going to play luxury tax. These guys are... We've built this list.
Yeah.
Wiggins is the only one, really, that they've brought in from that. Everybody else has sort of been brought up through the draft.
Yeah.
Of course they're looking after their guys.
Yeah.
That's the whole ethos of the club. Like, the coaching staff, the player base... They stick together.
Yeah.
And they're all about doing the best thing for the team. It is the most... Let the ball move. Let the ball move and the team will take care of it.
Yeah.
So, you're right. It could just be come down to experience. But it's an interesting stat that if you're going... If you lose you lose game 5, you go back home after losing another third quarter, do you go, this could be our season? At the Garden.
So the next game is in Golden State.
Yep. And then game 6.
6 will be in Boston.
I've called it
7
potentially the Clay game, because this is when Klay Thompson's just going to game 6 Clay.
You think they're going to win on the road, do you?
They are.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you think it's going to be 4-2?
I've said Warriors in 6.
Yeah.
And they're going to win game 6 with a Clay game on the road.
Like, you guys know I'm an NBA atheist. I don't have a particular team that I follow. I literally just watch a lot of replays because I pick the best game of the day or the closest game and I watch that game. That's how I roll. So for me, this has actually been an amazing final series because I actually don't know who's going to win.
I feel more invested than I should, but that's because I don't want Boston winning their 18th title.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, that's a very Lakers thing to say, to be honest. Like, but it's just been really good. It's been really competitive.
The quality of basketball's been amazing. The defense has been good.
The intensity is just like next level, and to see...
It hasn't been reffed poorly. I don't think
they have the best of the best referees coming for these games.
But it's not one of those, we're going to start calling tiggy touch fouls that are going to ruin the game.
They let them play.
And there's a lot there where you're going, the guy just got his arm chopped. Why is he not? And you're like, let him play.
Yeah.
There's a few bumps, let him play.
There's been a couple of calls here and there that haven't been perfect, but at the same time it's been,
Correct.
Alrighty, final thoughts, mate?
Warriors in 6.
Yeah.
Or just for the pod. We talk about the series?
No, both. Both. Yep.
I was just having a quick snoop, but looked like there was a, on PWCC, there's a Jordan Poole Silver PSA 10. Current price, $220 US with 15 hours left.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Probably by the time this goes to air, you might have an hour or two left. I don't know. You might be able to get on it.
Should get it up.
Jordan Poole.
Yep.
see how you go. But yes.
I think it's going to be Warriors in 7. I think the Celtics can definitely win one more game.
Yep. All right. I just, yeah.
They've been really good.
I think it's going to be nice to see Steph Curry win a Finals MVP.
I think Tatum's going to get off at least one game.
Okay. Yeah.
He has to.
Yeah. He'll get. Yeah. Okay. Maybe that'll be Game 6. It'll be the Clay versus Tatum game.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Okay, and so why don't we announce the winner of this week's prize? So this week we're promoting slabbed.com.au's Facebook page. So we had 12 people go into this week's competition. So thank you so much everyone for jumping in. And our winner this week, which we drew live on our Facebook page, was Con Prantelos. So congratulations, Con. Please contact us on any of the social media platforms, whether it's Twitter or Facebook or Instagram.
Yep, I check for the DMs on Instagram.
Yep. And then we'll hook you up with Khalil, and he'll give you some credit towards an SGC grading.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
We've got another promo coming up for our group, I think, on Facebook.
This week is going to be our Facebook, exactly.
So don't forget, it's going to be the same deal.
Yep.
Like it, share it, tag people.
Yep.
Make sure you're following both of us on socials.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, join the group is the big thing, because we're not a page to like. So you've got to like the post and join the group.
Yep.
So
yeah. Thanks again to slab.com.au. We really appreciate your support. That's slabd.com.au.
Yeah. Thanks, Slabs. It's been awesome. And I think this is this the last week of the promotion?
This is week 5.
Week
coming
5
up now.
Yep.
So we just had week 4.
Yep. So this is your last chance to get these crediting, get your entries in, and we'll be announcing the week 5 winner next week.
Yep. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate all of your support. Adam, thank you for your time.
Pleasure as always. It's good to do one of these like face to face.
Yeah. Thanks for coming for dinner.
That was great. Yeah. Thank you for dinner. It was amazing.
It was delicious. Yeah.
Yes, and we'll see everybody, or hopefully everyone will hear us next week.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.